What's an unexpectedly well-paid job? I work at home as a closed captioner broadcaster for the news. I make my own schedule and make between $35 to $65 per hour depending on the job. Large investments to get started but significantly worth the payout. An office job but you're secretly on Reddit. That's my job. SHHHHH. Garbage collectors in New York are paid up to $112K, a solid salary considering you don't even need a degree. It sounds like a nice fallback plan for me. The waitlist for those, which you can only apply for a very short window once a year or so, is insanely long. Airline Dispatcher. A girl I dated many years ago I met because she was living in my town training to be an airline dispatcher. There are just a handful of schools that teach it. I had no idea what an airline dispatcher was, let alone how much money they get paid. Dispatchers at FedEx can make $150,000 per year or more. It also gives you a lot of options to advance at an airline, like being station chief at an airline. The girl I dated had a dream to one day be Air France station chief in Tahiti. I don't know if she made it or not. The girl I dated had a dream to one day be Air France station chief in Tahiti. It's a magical place. Court reporting. Stenography is a tough skill to learn, but plenty of court reporters earn over $100K, and no college degree required, although most CRs will need to be certified. I'm currently in court reporting school and holy crap it is hard, but I enjoy it. I should be finished later this year and I can't wait to start working. Technical writing. If you have the ability to take complex technical information and simplify it according to the reading audience, you can make well over $100K annually. People ridicule English degrees until they find out how much can be earned as a technical writer. Mobile crane operator. Union guys pull over $200K and it's a trade that's pretty easy on the body. Operating engineers have a surprisingly high occurrence of back, neck and wrist injuries. They do make a ton of money though. I fix hospital beds, will be making $100K within my first 2 years with full benefits. I also have full control over my hours. Power linemen make bank. Not a lot of people even know about it. Utility linemen. There is a developing shortage nationwide due to baby boom retirements. It's well paid base, but the overtime is fabulous. I have a couple friends who got into this after they left the military. They all make well over $100K. Storm seasons bring in tons of overtime. They're all in their mid to late 20s buying houses. I drive machinery in a coal mine in Australia. I make about $170K. Even our new trainees are paid pretty well, about $48 per hour. I think it ends up being close to $90-100K. Easy money for sitting on your ass in an air-conditioned cab. $170K odd equals $118K. Longshoreman. If you are a senior member of a union you make absolute cake. $180K plus a year. Becoming a locksmith changed my life. Well paid and I get to help people out. I love it. Self-employed cleaning services. I don't know exactly what to call it. My parents started getting paid $35 an hour cleaning a community center to $50 from cleaning offices. My mom started it, then my dad joined in to help her with the hours and taking care of the house and kids. Eventually my mom got good contacts and started cleaning the offices of managers from factories, Sacramento politicians, and stuff alike. Can't express how proud I am of my mom. She turned all those crappy Hispanic cleaning lady jokes into something brag-worthy. My mom did the same thing, but she mainly works for very wealthy people living around us. Makes around $100 HR. Only works Tuesday, Thursday, and takes about 6-8 weeks of vacation yearly. UPS drivers can make close to $100K if you stay there long enough. Blew me away when I first heard that. My uncle was a UPS driver in Maine for 30 years. He had to quit due to an unrelated injury, but I'm pretty sure he was making high 80K low 90K before that. Ditch digger. Actually, directional boring. Guy I know was literally a ditch digger, but got into this by renting the specialized equipment just at the right time and right place. Fiber optic build out in the 1990s. He will also say that he made it simply by being reliable and trustworthy. I do not know exactly how much he makes, but he has an 80-foot sport fisherman. Probably cost $7.10 million and he bought a $4 million property on a whim. TBH, if you actually show up to a job site as a contractor and do a decent job, you are better than 90% of them. I swear half the time they will take a job and only show up to work when they run out of beer money. And let's not even get into quality of the work. I was a bathroom attendant in a fancy restaurant, made hundreds of dollars a night in cash to do next to nothing. Well, they don't do nothing. Their purpose seems to be to make the bathroom experience half as convenient and 1000% more awkward. And they always succeed. The year I got out of high school, I picked up a job at a private country club working the bag room. When I spotted a member, I'd grab their reserved private cart from the garage and load their clubs on it that they kept stored in the bag room. Couple damp towels hung on the back, pencils, scorecards and everything waiting by the time they stepped up. Place was primarily executives and whatnot for like the major automotive companies here in Michigan. I made a couple hundred each day in tips. During a couple tournaments that took place, I went home with around $500 in my pocket. I took home so much each day that I kept forgetting to pick up my paycheck, which was something like another $400 each week. Late 90s minimum wage. Only part of the job I hated was using the picker to get the balls off the range. There was always some ass bag trying to use me for target practice. Funeral director is a great paying job with not a whole lot of schooling. That's what I do and I make about $75,000. Janitor in the public sector. I approve of this comment. Doorman at a big name hotel. Tips 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 baby. If you have a strong stomach, cleaning up death and crime scenes pays very well and requires little education. I have a friend who did this. It definitely paid well, but he talked about some of the things he saw and I don't know if I could do it myself. There is a job in my country called chickeness. You're paid something like 10k euros per mission to touch newborn chicks and determine their gender. The ones near me must be really bad at their job because they seem to have a 50% success rate when we buy chicks. So we may as well leave it up to chance. In some states, corrections officers make insane money with just a get and willingness to work overtime. In CA, those guys can make $125k a year with a little overtime. Elevator technicians. Bartending. Some people know, but the overwhelming majority don't. If I only work 20 hours, 2 days a week this year, weekends, I would make close to $50k. If I really tried and worked 2 solid jobs 5 days a week, I would easily hit close to, if not over, $100k. This doesn't apply to every bar or bartender. You're not going to make this type of money at an Applebee's or a super franchised corporate establishment. So true. I have a good friend that bartends in this Spanish club in Miami, and he said if he decided to work 4 days a week instead of working 1-2 days a week, he could probably make $100k a year. YouTubers who just copy Reddit posts into a voice thing and then upload it with the text on the background. Hot dog vendors can earn 6 figures in a year. Collecting golf balls. Saw on the news a guy makes over $250,000 traveling around and using scuba gear getting golf balls. That's more scuba diving. If in Florida, that's very well worth it considering, as you Flaccoman 954 said, freaking gatters. Same with underwater welding. No one's paying you for the wielding part as much as they're paying you for the possibly that some tube sucks you in and you die. IDK, if surprising but one people don't think about. Selling ad space on local broadcast stations. I do it and make more than most families do in my area, and I'm at smaller market. Going into a medium one can put you well into 6 figures. I work as a lunch lady. I get school vacations off, summers off, and weekends. No nights, or even really afternoons. It's amazing. I also get benefits, and every year I get a raise. So between the money and the time off, the job is 100% worth it. You must be full-time. I'm part-time and don't get benefits. But you're right. Only work like 108 days a year and still get paycheck during the summer off. Furry P artist. Seriously. Furries will shovel out so much money for commissions and then tip on top of that. If you get a big enough following, it can be surprisingly well paid. Contractors for household moving companies with 18-wheelers can gross between $200 and $400k a year. Interesting to know how much is profit considering the running costs and insurance for an 18-wheeler, let alone the cost of an 18-wheeler. Train driver for London Underground. Heavily unionised industry, and London's dependency on the network means they've been able to demand an enviable package. High base pay, high overtime rates, and travel passes for the family. I think a lot of this thread is really misleading. First, everyone is saying, I knew a guy or I made 100k, and while I don't doubt that these are true things people are sharing, it isn't what someone else can expect to make. We should be talking about median salary or median wage. Second, especially since we aren't taking about median salaries, almost nobody included location. A few people did. Making $80k in Nick or San Fran is like making $30k in a small Midwestern town according to most cost of living salary comparison websites. The real truth is, a reasonably free market is going to adjust wages based on supply and demand, meaning that a job is either difficult to do because it takes lots of skill, training or education and pays well, like a heart surgeon, or a job is dirty, dangerous, or otherwise unpleasant and has to pay well to attract candidates, like certain fishermen, or a job whose wages are high due to external factors like a union or lobbying body that sets wages, which results in far more candidates than jobs, like my union painter uncle that makes $120k instead of the national median of $40k. Top comment is garbage collector in New York City. First $100k in Nick is the equivalent of $40k in a small Midwestern town, and that wages are artificially high, resulting in far more applicants than jobs. Meaning, odds are, you can't get that job. National median is $25k. Next top is aircraft dispatcher. National median salary is $32k according to Glassdoor and Salary.com, but $40k if you believe the Airline Dispatcher Federation. Finally, a lot of people are taking about starting a business doing X, which is entirely different than doing X. Median salary of a plumber is $45k in the US. They don't get the hourly wage they bill you for. And if they start their own plumbing business, they need to pay for insurance, benefits, additional taxes, advertising, and a million other things on top of just being a plumber. They also have to deal with all the hours when they don't have work. High risk, but higher potential reward. A successful business person running a plumbing company who has 10 employees might make $200k or more per year, but they might also lose $100k, and it doesn't really compare to a salary, especially today with all the salary information we have available to us. A job that pays a lot, that doesn't suck, that anyone can do, isn't going to keep paying a lot. Document specialist for utilities. Basically you have to know someone to get into it, but I went from making $40k as an office admin to $120k as a doc specialist. No college requirement. Often people just get their spouses or siblings on because they've worked in an office before. As a general rule, this is terrible for anyone who actually knows what they're doing in the job, but, like, whatever. A lot of times I'm just getting paid to hold down a desk. Optician. I get $30 plus an hour to sell you glasses and contacts. Trader Joe's managers. General managers of stores make $100,000 plus. Assistant store managers make $60,080,000/year. Not bad for working grocery. Scrum Masters in software development industry. They are paid six figures for basically setting up meetings and being cheerleaders. They don't have any responsibility for delivery of work and they don't have any work beyond what I described. Update. I am talking about a dedicated Scrum Master who does absolutely nothing else but be a Scrum Master. Update 2. I agree with you when you say you hate that this position exists as an individual entity and do believe that having one person just do this is wasteful. Update 3. I am specifically referring to Scrum Masters. Project managers and engineering managers and POs are not included in this. I would be asking for six figures too if I had to deal with fricking Gira. San Francisco Poop Patrol. A 10-person team. All they do is go around the city and clean up human feces, which is apparently a problem there. They make about $80,000 a year, plus pensions and benefits which bring the total to about $150,000. Not even kidding. Let's go scoop poop. But it's in San Francisco, one of the most expensive cities in the country. Dog groomer. It's a weird industry, though, and a skill that really has to be learned hands-on. Grooming schools can be a good start, but I know great groomers that never went to school for it, and terrible groomers that spend thousands on classes. Just being good at handling dogs is the best foundation for success. It's not the easiest job in the world. It's largely commission based, and you're lucky if you get any benefits out of it, but if you get enough practice and to be good at it and build up a loyal clientele base in a decently affluent area, it's good money. The haircuts I do range from $70 to $175, and I'm paid 50%, which averages out to around $30 to $35 an hour most days. Not everyone tips, but those that do usually tip $5 to $20 per dog, and because I do about 40 dogs in an average week, that's an extra couple hundred in my pocket. So if you don't mind working on your feet all day, sustaining repetitive motion injuries, not taking lunch breaks, dealing with insane customers, and picking crap off dog buttholes, it's a good living. Underwater welding pays a tremendous amount. The only one I know personally retired comfortably in his 40s. Given how dangerous underwater welding is, I'd say the pay isn't surprising at all. I'm a gardener. There's a serious lack of folks willing to do manual labor in the outdoors year-round. Most commercial properties have to maintain a certain amount of green area in our city. Hospitals and other places like that need legitimate crews to do the work with professionalism. No catcalling or spitting or swearing etc., including bonded employees and good insurance and equipment etc. As a result, we are in demand and we get paid surprisingly well. No university education needed, low barrier to entry, great pay and job security. Notary clerks. $30 for just signing a document and putting in register. You have been visited by the doggo of exquisite pizza taste. Good memes and tasty treats will come to you, but only if you comment "eat tasty, Papa." If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check out another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day, you magnificent people.